Hi, folks. I've got a fantastic guy joining me today. Make sure I pronounce this right. Sulle Alhaji. Would that be correct?
Yeah, good effort. Good effort.
Yeah, not bad. It's not a bad effort. He's a Geordie. He's from Wallsend. But the thing about him is he's a decorated soldier, fought in the Falklands, served in Northern Ireland, Germany, I believe. Is that correct as well?
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. So fantastic. So we're always very proud of our servicemen. How was your career? Did you enjoy your time in the army? I know
Yeah.
that's a long question. That's a long question. I know.
Yeah. It's the early days were horrible
Yes.
because it was during the 70s where it was the country was institutionally racist. And what I
Yes.
mean by that, for those who don't really understand it, because a lot of people don't, I'm not saying everybody in the country was racist. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying that racist bad behavior was allowed to go on unchecked. Nobody would say, "Hey, you can't say that." They just go on their own business. And that's what it means. That it's accepted behavior. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you're everybody's racist. Like when they say the police are institutionally racist,
Mhm.
everybody says, or a lot of people say, "Well, all the police are racist." It's like, no, no, you haven't got it. You don't
Mhm.
understand it.
How did that manifest itself? Did you get that straight away from coming into the army?
Yeah,
From the
yeah.
immediate moment you arrived, did you feel that kind of resentment? And like you say, was it from all people, or were there good people in there as well?
There was, oh, of course, there was good people, but what I found. So, an example, my training corporal was professional.
Mhm.
So I went to Depot Para in '78. Now, parachute regiment training is fundamentally hard. There were 67 of us started, and only 11 got through. That's
Wow.
how hard it is. I mean, you wouldn't be able to run a course with them kind of statistics today.
Mhm.
But back in the day, it was really, really difficult to get through. And well, I was lucky. My corporal was good, and there was a corporal from another platoon. And when I was marching across the square in front of everybody, there was officers, sergeants, other corporals. This corporal would open his window. He was on the first floor, and he'd shout the N word.
Yeah.
Can I say that in full?
I think people will know, but maybe we'll just stick to the N word
Okay.
for the
He
sake of
shout
YouTube. Yeah.
he'd shout N word. So being the only black person on camp, I came to attention, looked up, and this corporal said, "I'm going to get you back squatted," which means moved out of my platoon into his platoon,
Mhm.
and basically I'm going to rape you. But he didn't say it like that, so you
Yes.
can use your imagination. And he'd say it every time he saw me. Now,
Terrible.
this is a great example of institutional racism because there was people walking past. No, I was like I was invisible,
Mhm.
but I was used to it because growing up in the '60s, you got it all the time. So to me, it was like I thought, what a dickhead.
Mhm.
And I also thought, if I wasn't in training, I'd beat the crap out of you. But you can't touch the corporals; they're demigods, and if you do, you get kicked out. So I treated it with contempt that I deserved. Um, there was another one, and that happened all the time when I was on camp and he was on camp. There was
Did
another one.
did you have friends there that would stick up for you, or were you very much on your own?
Very much on my own. I got friends there, but no one would say anything because it was normal. It was
Right.
normal business.
Yeah.
It's as normal as going through the shops and saying hello or opening the door for a woman getting through. It was normal business.
Yeah.
And I was normalized to it as well. So to me, it was just like, what a dickhead.
Yes.
It wasn't like, oh, shock horror. And I know the viewers watching now will be saying that because now the times have changed for the
Yes.
better.
Yes.
But back in the day, it was like, what a dickhead. And it didn't affect me apart from what a dickhead. That was it. That's all the
Don't
attention I
don't
give.
they care that you are, putting your life on the line and standing up for your country, their country, your country? Is there no aspect to that?
No, racists are one dimensional. I don't want to call them people because they're not really. They're one dimensional things. They have one thing on their mind. They think they're better than me.
Mhm.
They think that I shouldn't breathe the same air as them. They think they're entitled to spout off their opinion, no matter how bad it is, because they're pretty stupid. There are some intelligent ones, and I class them as even being more stupid because you're supposed to be intelligent. Use your brain, what it's there for. You get what the thing is. This Earth has been here for about 4.5 billion years, and we humans are here in comparison, by a nanosecond,
Mhm.
and they still want to be an arsehole for that nanosecond. Say it's no rehearsal. You get one crack at life. enjoy it. You know, why go and give someone else a hard time, whether, you know, the gender, what their beliefs are? Why give them a hard time? Are they doing any harm to you? If they're not, then just let them go. But racists are just odd creatures.
Did you feel that, you know, in a situation, a dangerous situation, would that have affected you thinking, oh, you know, I'm putting my life on the line for my comrades, and some of whom are racist? Would that have affected your decision making on the field?
No, and I'll demonstrate that it's really happened. There was a guy when I joined my regiment. There was a guy who was so toxic. I could have beat the crap out of him, but I didn't want to touch him because I didn't want to catch it. He was horrible, really horrible. And there's no way, because those that sit on the fence, I can change their attitudes. And those who are bad, I can change it to a point where they'll say, you're right, it's the other ends I don't like. And I'm like, really? What do I do with that? But anyway, this guy was particularly toxic. You know, you could see this green smoke coming out of his mouth every time he talked, basically. And we were in a fire position, in a war, in a battle, and one of our guys got sniped and was wounded. And this guy tried to get up, and I pulled him down and says, you can't go in there. This is that racist, the horrible racist. I pulled him back down and says, you can't go in there. He's just being shot. It's a hot area. You're going to get shot if you go in there. Somebody else ran in. The sniper wounded that second guy, then killed the first guy, and I thought he was playing games. This guy tried to get up again. I pulled him down, but he then got up and ran in. And I'll leave it there for sake of the families. But yeah, I tried to save them twice because, as far as I was concerned, in a war, we're all on the same side. And I haven't got time for the stupidness of a racist, you know, doing this thing. This person did. He said something to me, you know, I hope you die during this battle, which I thought was, you know, why? 4 years I've been in the regiment, and you're. But
would you? I mean, you obviously reciprocated. Those feelings didn't come to you because you have essentially saved him in that situation. Yeah. I mean,
he said, "I hope you die," and I'm like, and I couldn't give that any time because I'm now going to go to war. I'm going to fight for my life. So I just told him where to go before I killed him. And that was that done. And I couldn't give it any more time. My focus was on the battle ahead.
Do you hold kind of resentment for all those experiences, which I know we'll go into a bit more to this day?
No, not at all. No. I haven't got the time and effort to do that because that's hate. That's, you know, you're giving it all your effort. It brings you down. But when I developed PTSD in 2015, no, 2019, that was one of the triggers that came back. There was a lot of racial discrimination. Mine was really complicated. It wasn't just war. It was my dad's Nigerian discipline methods. The teachers saying I was stupid. I'm dyslexic, but I didn't find out until I was 40. You know, all that stuff that happened back in the day came out. So it wasn't just the war. But yeah, when I developed PTSD, one of the triggers was the racial discrimination. And I'm now over it. It took 3 years of deep, concentrated therapy to get me over it. But before that,
if you saw those people today, I mean, have you ever come across those people today?
Yeah,
still alive.
Yeah, inside. I have a little bit of a smugness because I've done ever so well in the army. I got to lieutenant colonel from private soldier, and they didn't. So no matter what they think, I am superior to them. I now look down at them. They have to look up to me. They never will. Racists never would do that anyway, so I don't care.
Oh, that's amazing. Tell us about the actual training that you had to do. I mean, you say that a lot of people didn't manage to get through the course. I mean, how tough was it?
It was incredibly tough. It was really tough. So, bit of history about me. I didn't have a mentor. My dad wasn't a mentor. He was an arsehole.
Yeah.
Horrible. So I made a lot of mistakes growing up, and I didn't know how fit I was. I didn't realize I was fit. Mm-hmm. So I was in the cadets for 3 years, and I joined the Royal Marine Reserves for about a year, and then I wanted a better challenge. So I went to the Paratrooper Regiment, joined up. So my soldiering skills were good, and my fitness was good, but I didn't know that at the time. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it was so funny. The first exercise you do is a night in the field just to get used to camping out. Well, it's not camping out, it's like, but if you want to call it that, and how to cook in a field. Mm-hmm. And you got your weapon, you got your food and everything, and you're doing all. You talk by the corporals what to do. And in the morning, you always get attacked. So me and my mate Jeff, who was in the cadets with the reserves with me, we knew what was going to happen. So we'd oiled our weapons, we cleaned it, oiled it, everything was ready. And in the morning, when we got attacked, we were out there, our kit on, ready.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the only two out there on the track. Corporals were going absolutely crazy. There was guys recruits coming out in pajamas. It was like Dad's army. I mean, they'd only been in the army a week, so what did they expect? But we were laughing until we got a block or a group beasting. Now, a group beasting is like everybody gets a hard time. You do so many different exercises till you drop. And me and Jeff were like really cheesed off because we were the only two that were ready.
Yes.
But we quickly learned that we all get beasted.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the training from day one was quite difficult.
Yes.
What
other sort of things did you have to do? You know, obviously weapons and stuff like that. But I mean,
weapon handling. Oh God, yeah. So on the ranges a lot. Mm-hmm. Physical training was big because paratroopers have to do things that conventional soldiers back in the day couldn't do. Mm-hmm. So we would parachute in, which psychologically is hard, and physiologically it's hard as well. Because when you land, you land on the drop zone, the area where you actually take off your parachute and everything, and then you start what we call tabbing or marching to the objective, and then you have to fight. And that objective could be 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 miles away.
Oh, my God. Well, what was it like for you jumping out? I mean, you're from Wallsend, you're jumping out of an aeroplane. What was that like for the first time?
Well, I'm a bit weird. I enjoy that. I like adrenaline rush, but it was so funny. It was a balloon, you know, the big barrage balloons that used in World War II, and it's got a cage on it where a platform.
Right.
There's four of us get on there, and we're giving it the look at me, big Billy bollocks and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as it moves, you grab the side. It's automatic, and you go, and it's very, very quiet. And when I jumped out, I was like, oh wow, this is great, because you've been training up to that point, you know, and there's 7 events you have to pass to get to become a paratrooper. I think this was the 6th event, jumping. Yes. And then he says the PGI, the RAF chap, brings you forward, and then you red on, green on, go, and your stomach goes bang towards your chin. It's brilliant. I loved it.
I mean, that must be so scary. I mean, but are you a sort of person that likes that adrenaline rush?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. So you also, you know, you were a boxer as well. So you used to use that within your army scenario.
Yeah. I used to box with my brother when I was a youth, and my brother was really hard and really fast, and I used to spar with him. I mean, it wasn't uncommon to do 7 3-minute rounds with him. You know, he was a really good boxer, and by osmosis, I suppose, I became a better boxer than I normally would be. Mm-hmm. So when I went to the regiment, they started boxing, and it was, oh God. Nowadays, you got weights and everything, and you got to be certain category. Yes. In them days, it was like you were lined up, tallest to the right, shortest to the left. You box the guy next to you. Yeah. So I had three bouts one day. I knocked them all out.
Yes.
The next day, I had 2 bouts. I knocked the first guy out and got a technical knockout for the second one.
Yes.
And then I had the finals. Now, the finals was with a guy called Taff Williams. Mm-hmm. Now, long story short, when I joined the regiment, I got a lot of racial hassle from certain quarters. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm in depot, and there's a guy there, and I sparred with him, and he kicked the crap out of me. I didn't know he was a Welsh junior champion, did I? So anyway, I thought, right, I'm going to the finals, and the whole battalion will be there, and they'll see me be victorious, yeah. And then they'll stop picking on me, those who wanted to pick on me, because I beat the crap out of them. Yes. And then I looked to see who I was fighting in the finals, and it's only this guy, and I'm like, oh no, yes. No, God, my world's going to be crap from here on in. So anyway, they literally had to pull me in the ring, and I got in, and the bell went, and he came running across And I ran back into my corner. He came across like a train, and I hooked him. I knocked him out with my first punch. I was like,
there you go. There you go.
I was jumping around the ring like a baboon. And I got a bollock off the referee, but I didn't care.
Did that not get you respect then within
Yeah.
the regiment? Yeah.
Yeah, it did. The next day, people were going around, instead of looking at me or giving me a hard time or saying things, they said, "Oh, good fight last night, well done."
Yeah.
There was still a couple of people who were the very bad people, but the rest of them were great. And, I'd do it all again.
Listened to something else that you did, and there was a horrendous incident where people dressed up, wasn't there?
Yeah. So I joined my battalion in Germany. And the first day, they'd thrown my kit everywhere, which is it's sort of banter, it's normal stuff. Yeah. So I'm picking it up and I felt the presence. I looked round and there was a double barrel shotgun on my face and it said, "Welcome to B Company, N-word." And my instinct would be to take that double barrel shotgun and wrap it around the idiot's head. But my training corporal, who'd been phenomenal, said, "Look, you're going to have a hard time when you get to the battalion." He says, "Yeah, no, corporal, we all are." Says, "No, you're black, you get a harder time." And he said, "Give it 6 months and then it'll be over. But if you fight, you make it worse." Now, he had every good intention, but actually got it wrong. Yeah. Back in the day, racists only understood violence. And if you could beat them up, then they'd go, they'd still hate you, but they'd give you a wide berth. Yeah. Anyway, so I got the shotgun wrapped around my face. I was going to wrap around his face, but I thought, no, I can't. And then that night, I'm lying in bed, the lights went out, and then my nose went really funny. I'm like, "What's going on here?" So I put a light on. The room was full of CS gas. Oh. So I looked down at the door. There was a tobacco tin with CS gas in. So I opened the door, kicked it out. It came back in. I thought, okay. Ran to the windows, tried to open it, but they banged 6-inch nails in the window frame. And now I'm trapped in a room with CS gas. It can actually kill you in some rare cases. Right. It's just horrible, though. And I'm like, what do I do? Oh, I've got my gas mask in my locker. So I put that on. I thought, you're not going to get the better of me. Ha ha. Took the mask and went to bed. Yeah. Next day, day 2 in the unit, and came back at lunchtime. And there was them self-developing photographs that I used to get. I think you're still getting now. There's one of them of a guy called Chris Alder who was in C Company, a black guy, and they'd hung him. I didn't know it was staged. It looked real. And it's on my bed, and I'm like, I'm going to die. They're going to kill me. And I really, really was worried that they were going to kill me. And you can imagine that afternoon, I was like, just couldn't concentrate on anything. Anyway, that night, went to bed, the lights went out, so I sat up. So I thought, this happened last night. And in Germany, the door's quite big with gaps and the ceiling's quite high. And I saw this orange light coming through the door. And then the door opened and there was 3 people in KKK outfits with a burning cross. And they just stood on my bed. And I thought I was going to die. I really thought I was going to die. And after a bit, because I'm cheeky, and I've always been cheeky, sometimes I wish I wasn't, I thought, right, because my fright then developed into fight. And I thought, I'm going to kill that one. I'm going to bite his arms apple out of that and find it, because they had the masks on, everything, the whole KKK outfit. KKK outfits, cowards, absolute cowards. Why do you hide? Show your face so I know who you are. But anyway, and I thought, I'm going to bite your throat out. I'm going to bite your arms apple out. And the other 2 are going to kill me. I know I'm dead, but I'm going to kill someone. I'm not going to go down as a lame duck. I'm going to go fighting. And then I just walked out, and I couldn't sleep after that. But then the next day, the sergeant major came round. Now, you hear some examples of ticking boxes, and some are right, because you're just ticking the box because you've got a list, and that's fine. But this is the ticking the boxes. He came in, there was people there, soldiers around, and he says, "You're right, Alhaji." I went, "Yes, sir." He says, "No, you're really all right." I went, "Yeah." I knew what he meant, but he didn't take me to a safe place. I mean, this was 1978, so it was before health and safety was even a word. And he asked me in front of people, "What am I going to say?" Well, I got a shotgun in my face. Who was it? I don't know. I was looking at the barrel, but I saw his hand. It was white. And then that night I got gassed. Who was it? I don't know, but I saw a white hand push the gas back in. And then last night I got KKK. And who was it? I don't know, but I bet the smell of petrol. I mean, what am I supposed to say? It's like, we've totally changed from that. That was ticking the boxes. Now it's completely different. Yeah. And I've got to keep pressing that. So I want people to
who these
Sorry.
guys were? Did you find out who the guys were?
I've been told by someone who they are. Um, I was disappointed in one of them because I thought it was okay, but and the thing is, from their point of view, I can understand they might have thought it was banter, but from my point of view, it wasn't banter.
Yes,
I thought I was going to die. That wasn't banter. That wasn't funny.
banter.
So it's a hard one, and it was 78. It happened all the time.
Yeah.
So I just thought,
sort of get up on the day, actually to go through the day and have that resentment all around you. Do you have to have such a thick skin, or are you so used to it
oh
because of
God.
childhood, or what?
Well, I had a thick skin anyway from growing up because when I was a kid, I'd be playing in the garden, and we were the first family in that part of Newcastle. We were a family of curiosity and hatred. Some people would come and say, "Hey, Sambo, come here." So I'd walk across because in them days, an adult says something, you have to do it, depending on what it is, obviously. And they feel my hair and say, "I'll say little gollywog," and kick him up the backside. And then some of them say, "Go back the way you come from," And I'm like, I got used to it. That was normal for me. If there was a day that I didn't get called a name, it was because I was ill in bed.
Right.
It was normal.
Did you have a resentment then of any white people? Did you group them all together as being racist?
No, I didn't even know what racist was. I never heard racist before in my life
Yeah.
up until that point. So I just thought it was being stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it, but I just thought it was being stupid because it was so normal. I mean, it's hard to explain. It was so normalized for me that I couldn't resent it because it was normal.
Yeah.
And it's like day comes after night comes after day. It's normal business. And so I didn't resent anybody. I just thought I didn't like it, and that was it.
Kind
Strange
of
as it
weird
sounds.
though, you're getting all that resentment, that horrible stuff, and then you go into an army where you're actually fighting for the country, where the people are giving you a hard time.
I know it's crazy. And this is the ironic thing, right?
Yeah.
Every day a soldier puts on their uniform. They don't realize this, many of them, but they're making a pact with themselves to protect the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And that means the good people, those are sitting on the fence, and the bad people. And it means that they might even have to make the ultimate sacrifice in order to do that. Yet these bad people still have give me a hard time, It's crazy.
Terrible. So tell us about, so you went to Germany, and then you went to Northern Ireland. What
Yeah.
was serving in Northern Ireland like?
Conflicted because my mum's Irish from Dublin, so I was conflicted. And the first time I went out the gate, I thought I was going to get shot to pieces. Mm-hmm. The first time you go out the gate, you are scared. Yes. No matter who you are scared. You can have the bravado, but you're scared. Mm-hmm. And after I went out the first time, I thought, oh, it's not that bad. I calmed down. But you've got to get over that scared bit.
Yes.
And then I was patrolling and that. And even the Irish were giving me racist discrimination. There's a guy who used to send his dog, go and get the darkie. And the dog used to come and bite me until I punched it. And then it didn't bite anymore. But yeah, I used to get it all the time. The kids would call me names. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm an alien now and I'm getting it. I don't know.
Did you have any sort of difficulties over there in terms of, bombs, bullets? Was it?
Yeah, we had a contact. We did stuff like we did guinea pigs to draw out the enemy and stuff like that. We had a contact on the Blackwater River. Well, I was lead scout with a guy called Ron Duffy. So I had the light machine gun and he had the SLR, the rifle, with a night scope on. And we, as lead scouts, it's quite a precarious job. Mm-hmm. If there's a mine there, you're going to get it. Chances are, or an ambush, you're going to get it. So you're on your wits end, basically, being alert. So yeah, we did that. We had one contact.
How does that go for your nerves? Are you all right with it? Did you get used to it?
It's a job. Mm-hmm. It's a job. It's automatic. There's no hatred. Yeah. It's just a job. And you're not fighting for Queen and country. It sounds very patriotic. I'm fighting for Queen and country, and that's what you can say in peacetime. But in wartime, the Queen, the King, the country doesn't come into it. No. What comes into it is your mates. Mm-hmm. You're fighting for your mates, mm-hmm. and that's fine. You are there for Queen, King, and country, even though it's the government that sends you there. The government that sends you there. But for me and for many, it's you're fighting for your friends or your muckers, as we call them.
But what's weird is that you're getting such a hard time from your mates.
Well, after the boxing, it calmed right down. Then about a year later, I went Ireland, and I proved myself in combat. So again, it's ticking the box for me.
Yes.
And then 4 years later, or 4 years from when I first joined, I'm now on the start line to go to war in the Falklands. I've got my kit on, we're ready to go. And that racist pops up and says what he said. I hope he died, N-word. I'm like, I can't believe this. 4 years. Come on.